Welcome back. This is Bonita Creek RC. Today on the workbench, we're gonna work on my Red Cat Ascent18. The other day we were driving it and it fell into water and it fried the ESC. So I ordered an Injora outrunner brushless thing. This is the Purple Viper. And then it has a brushless ESC too. I forget what the model of the brushless ESC is. This is a Purple Viper brushless motor. This is a 1721 is its number. And this is my first outrunner. It's very cool. The finish looks nice. So these outrunners are really cool. I'm excited to see how hard it is to get it set up and what it wants to do. It'll be fun to try a mini that's brushless. I've never even driven a brushless mini, so this will be something completely new. The stock system is pretty good, but I wouldn't have replaced it if it hadn't have fried. I could have gotten a replacement ESC, but it would have come with a remote, and it was 25 bucks on redcat.com, which isn't bad, but they only had, you could only get it with, the shipping was $18, which is outrageous, and then you have to spend $50 from them to get the free shipping, so I really didn't want to do that. So and then this was 60 bucks, so I decided to get that. So that's nice looking. Let's see, in there it comes with that looks like the programming card. Here's a couple plugs and different plugs and zip ties. So it has a Traxxas plug and a JST plug. I forget what all the numbers for the red JST is. Let's see, it looks like there's an XT30 plug, those yellow ones. Yeah, this looks nice. And just cut this. And so as the bottom of it's plastic, but the lid is aluminum. Huh. Okay, so I'm gonna have to remove this ESC and motor, and I had this extra. I just had this sitting around, so I use that for the light bar. So I have that hooked onto the channel 3, and then runs here, and then just it's like a little power bank for light bars or whatever you want to run on it. Okay, so I'm gonna be back in a second when I got the electronics out. Okay, I got the electronics out, and now we're gonna take apart the transmission and remove the motor. And be in a snap. Okay, we got that apart. Now we'll remove the transmission cover and we'll look at the gears. So these are all plastic gears that it comes with, and the stock gear ratio in the transmission is 13:1. And then I forget what the axles have. I think it was like, I'm watching it. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. About it's 4:1 in the axles, and it's 13:1 in the transmission. So that'll be like 17:1. No, I don't know. So then we'll pull out these gears. They are plastic, so we're gonna have to see how long they last with the brushless system in it. I doubt they'll last a real long time, but I'm not going to use them in anything else, so I may as well use them and break them and then get the metal gears later. Injora does have a Red Cat Ascent transmission. It has aluminum case and all metal gears inside. They have one with the stock ratio of 13:1, and they also have a underdrive one with a gear ratio of 24:1. So when these do break, supposing they do, I'm gonna get the 24:1. Well, you know what? I'm gonna see what the wheel speed is like. I think I'll get plenty of slow speed control with the 13:1 in the transmission in the brushless system, but if the top speed is just ridiculous, I'm gonna go for the underdrive one. So this was a really good motor. I haven't had any problems with it. It's very smooth with it, and with these 42 grams a piece brass wheels, I got silicone inserts which are like 10 grams each, I think. So that's a lot of weight that this motor was moving, and it did it pretty well. Once I did put the new wheels and tires on it, after a while it did lose the drag brake and it would start to roll back on an incline, but it didn't start out doing that. So I'm just spinning it. It doesn't sound like it's bad. Sometimes they just kind of, motor would just kind of feel rough and it'll squeak a bit if they have wore out bearings. Well, not bearings, bushings, and wore out brushes. Okay, I'm gonna try and not lose any screws and remember where they go. Let's see. They did a little bit of grease in there. It was a fair amount. It was enough, but not as much as I usually do. I put way too much in. So in the bag here, it also comes with the motor mount and a bunch of screws and the pinion gear. Okay, I got the motor adapter hooked on, and I got the pinion gear on. And then I'm going to test fit it, and then I'm going to take it apart and put Loctite on all the screws so nothing comes undone inside. So let's see. I'm trying to decide how I want to clock the motor, and I'm thinking that there will be clearance from the body with it going up. I think it'll be behind the windshield cowl, so I think there will be room for it, but we're gonna have to see. We're gonna be back in a snap. Okay, so I got the motor on here, and I got the depth set for the pinion gear. It's a little tricky. I had to take it in and out like 3 or 4 times, and it's only meshing about halfway across the teeth, so it's not a matter of if it will strip, it's when. So I guess we'll see when it does, how long it lasts. So I'm going to put this back together and put this in the truck, and then I'm going to have to figure out where I'm going to put all my electronics. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, I got the drive shafts put on and the case put together, and man, does that look good. And listen. Pretty sure that's the motor. They're all plastic gears, so I don't think the plastic gears will be making noise. That's kind of cool. This thing should be able to spin slow enough that you can just, like, probably slow enough that you can barely see the lettering going by. So if it's going like that fast, look how fast the drive shafts are spinning. And then you do 4 to 1 to that, these tires will barely be moving at all. It'll probably take 4 seconds for the slack in the drivetrain to go through the amount of slack in the drivetrain before it starts moving forward. This is going to be nice. Oh yeah, this is going to be awesome. Man, look at that motor in there. This is going to be sweet. Man, I might have to get brushless for my other trucks. Hope I'm not going to be poisoned with the super slow crawl. And I won't be able to stand brushed anymore. I don't know. $60, this is the most affordable brushless outrunner you can get. I think the cheapest one from Fury Tech is $80, and then that one is only rated to 2S. So, and this is 3S capable. So, I think that this will be a good option unless you really like red anodized, I guess. Oh yeah, and the next thing we're gonna have to do is mount the electronics, and this will take a little bit of time, so I'm gonna be back in a second. Okay, I got it. So I got the system set up, and I'm having a little bit of trouble getting it set up with my remote and getting it to run. So I'll try again. There it is. Man, that is slow. See, now it's kind of it's driving on its own, so I don't know what's up with that. I'm gonna go charge the battery, and maybe the battery is low and then it's messing with it. And I might replace the batteries in the remote, and then we'll see what it does. Okay, got it all put together and working, and yeah, that's got some slow crawl. It is a little glitchy. I don't know if it might be set for the wrong KV. Might be set up for one of the Fat Viper motors. Oh, yeah, that doesn't sound great. Yeah, that I don't know. It does not sound good. Oh, the steering's not working. The steering's not working. The throttle's not working. I think I need to replace batteries and remote. So I'm gonna go do that. Okay, all that glitching was in the from the dead battery in the remote, and that green light is not flashing anymore, so that's good. Look at that. This is my first brushless Mini, and this is exciting. It's gonna be so cool being able to go at slow and then have all the torque. Let's see. Kind of has that outrunner whine to it. Oh, we got some good wheel speed too. And with the plastic gears in the transmission, I'm going to have to be very careful with that throttle, that I don't get a tire jammed up and then just keep it under throttle. It should last a little while, but I know that those gears inside the transmission will fail eventually, so I'll have to deal with that when that happens. Well, let's look at, it's kind of funny though, like as you kind of rock it back and forth, the axles kind of twist a little bit, a little wonky geometry there. Okay, we're gonna have to go out into the rocks and we'll be out there in a snap. Okay, so we're out in the crawler course and we've been driving. I've had a couple hours on it now and it's been pretty reliable in getting started, and that slow crawl is very, very nice. It does have 100% reverse though, so it is pretty spicy. See, the belly's hanging up a little there, and now it's just nice and smooth. Like, it'll go like, that's just crazy slow. I've not had any problems with the plastic gears yet. Like I said before, eventually they will strip, but so far so good. With the new remote, the steering doesn't quite go as much one way as it does the other. It's a little weird, but I've really been liking it. The wiring is a mess and I need to work on it a bit, but yeah, it's going pretty good. And the outrunners do sound cool. I really like that whine. See, I don't think I've driven up this from this side, with me being on this side before. See, he's hanging up on the axle. I need to get a little bit taller tires, but I've been liking how stable it is, it being with the smaller tires and it being so wide. But the C-hubs are it just makes the C-hubs seem ginormous in the front. And if you look at it just straight from the front, it's kind of ridiculous looking. Oh, there it goes. Oh, I think the body came unclipped. Yeah, it did. The motor is really whiny when it gets going fast. It's kind of cool. Let's see how it does on a couple of these lines. Before, I'd be kind of fighting it for the slow speed control with the brushed. It'd kind of go between either kind of jumping ahead or not having enough torque to keep going. Man, those tires are working hard. I thought, is it gonna push over? Let's see this. I'm gonna go up the edge between those. Oh, I just got the C-hub stuck on that edge. And it's a little coggy. Well, that pulled straight up. Now let's see what it does. I'm going to turn to all the way driver. I'm going to go a little more straight. Yeah, that pulled straight up that. I punched 2 holes on the inner side wall of all the tires, and it made it so that they could breathe better. They could, when they squished, they'd let the air out. The rings do have a hole in them, but the silicone insert was sealing it shut. So now the tires are acting a bit soft. It just got stuck up on top because I kind of came at it at an angle. I'm gonna try and see if I can make it up. I kind of want bigger tires so that the C-hubs don't get caught so much, but if I get bigger tires, I'm gonna have to put the spring retainers back on the shocks, and then it's gonna really raise the CG of this truck. So I'm just gonna have to try and decide what I want to try. I might put the 64mm Swamp Claws and its silicone inserts from my AX24 on this one and try it out and see if I like that height. I might get a 60mm Injora S5 comp pin tire for this one, but indeed I was thinking that would be a good height. These are 57mm Swamp King Little Guy Racing parts, so they are kind of short. Like from the front here, you can see how ridiculously big those C-hubs are. Like there's not much ground clearance right there. That's 1 finger width, but out in the middle it's good, but it does catch on those pretty easily. I did kind of take a file to it and kind of round it off, and that helped a little bit, but they still do get caught quite a bit, and it's not quite wanting to turn as much. So there, I don't know. I think it's wanting to turn sharper that way than, I don't know. Just by a little bit. And I'm gonna try and get into the ESC programming to tune down the reverse, because 100% reverse is just ridiculous. It's pretty jumpy if you're not being careful. You're gonna try and see what that passenger front's wanting to do. It's climbing straight up, and all the other tires are just kind of spinning in place. Now it's raising, it's climbing up, and see, the back driver tire is really getting a lot of transferred weight. And there, it kind of tipped to the front. I took the brass rings out of the rear of this truck and put the brass rings in the front of the AX24. They're both 1.1 inch wheels. So that way I get a better forward weight bias in both. And it's also getting rid of a bit of rotating mass for this truck. And that was kind of a problem before when it was brushed. It was running out of drag brake. It just rolled down the hill after I got all that weight on it. I'm surprising that tire is staying on the side like it is. Just kind of getting pushed along, trying to dig into the side of the log, but then it's just barely gripping on the edge. Let's see, I'll turn the other way. I might need a more powerful servo pretty soon for this. I can tell that the servo is struggling quite often. Yeah, a little outrunner's noisy. Let's see. It's gonna understeer off the edge. So let's see. I get a better lined up. There we go. I got a hook on that little stump right there, sticking out with that front tire. And let's see. This obstacle's a little narrow for this truck. Hope it's on the C-hub. I'm gonna try and reverse and get the tire back on top of that one. Oh, my foot's falling asleep. There we go. So let's see. I'm gonna try and go driver a little bit more. I don't want to go off the other side though, but I can't see that over there. Oh, there's a little cogginess. It's kind of jittering a little bit. Traction has not been a problem in this whole climb so far. The only wheel spin has been from the overdrive in the front, which this truck is running about 23%, so it's working good. Now this truck's gonna be plenty wide to go across that gap. Nice. And we're just gonna come down the other side, just because we can, and we were already on top. We can do a drag brake test. Let's see, it rolled for a second and it stopped. Let's see, I kind of get some momentum. So it rolls for a little bit and then it kind of stops. So it rolls forward for about a quarter to half an inch and then it just stops. Oh, there it's rolling a fair bit. Huh. That is a lot of weight in those wheel tire combos that it's trying to hold back. Each rim weighs 42 grams. Well, the rear are lighter now. I'm not sure what they weigh. And it has silicone inserts which weigh, I think it's 9 grams each. I'm not sure. I think the 64 millimeter Injora yellows were 11 grams each. I think these ones were like 9 or 10. Oh yeah, and that's just stuck. Okay, thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful. If you like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one. Ooh, can I save it? No, don't do that. No, I can't back up with the tires that way. Can I go forward like that? Maybe. Ooh, maybe. Let's see, back up. I'm gonna go forward. Yeah. You can get yourself into trouble and get it back out with this one. Okay, see you in the next one.